Hello friends, welcome to GCA. I hope you all are doing good. So today's topic is very important, which is related to the current situation. That is, are we ready to fight two front war against Pakistan? So this two front war, you might have heard of this word many a times since last 1 year in the media. And recently, our army chief has given a statement that we are fully prepared to deal with the two front war posed by China and Pakistan. And even CM of Punjab recently gave a statement that any war with China will also involve Pakistan. So what is this actually a two front war? So in this video we are going to learn about everything about, first, what is two front war, then what is basically creating the situation of two front war, and finally what India must do to deal with two front war. So again, without wasting any time, let us start. So in terms of military terminology, two front war occurs when opposing forces they encounter on two geographical separate fronts. The forces of two or more allied parties they usually or simultaneously engage an opponent in order to increase their chances of success. So in a very simple language, it means when two countries they are trying to attack one country from separate fronts at the same time. So it means when India is attacked by China and Pakistan from two separate fronts, that is from Pakistani side the western front and from Chinese side, that is from the northern and the eastern front at the same time. So this condition is called two front war. Now what is the condition that is leading to the situation of two front war? Let us see the history behind this. So it all started when British India was partitioned into India and Pakistan, and with this the state of Jammu and Kashmir was given a independent identity status, and it decided not to join India neither Pakistan but to remain as an independent identity. And state at that time had majority of Muslim population, that is around 75% of the population was Muslim. So Pakistan they started to capture the state of Jammu and Kashmir. They led the charge of Azad Kashmir forces, and they started moving towards the frontiers of the state, that is the main city Srinagar. So thereby felting the condition of Pakistani forces marching towards the Srinagar, the Maharaja of Kashmir, that is Maharaja Hari Singh, he approached India for help, that India should help us in controlling the Pakistan forces. So India set one condition, that we are going to help you if you will sign an instrument of accession that Kashmir will accede to India. So thereby an instrument of accession was signed between the Maharaja of Kashmir and then Prime Minister of India, that Kashmir will accede to India. So thereby this was not acceptable to Pakistan, and they increased incursions in the state of Jammu and Kashmir in the year 1947 and 48, which led to the 1948 war of India and Pakistan. And thereafter in 1962, Indian armed forces we received humiliating defeats from the hands of China because of our lack of unpreparedness. So that was a major setback for the Indian armed forces. Then in 1963, the relations between Pakistan and China started growing. Like as a friendship gesture, Pakistan provided Shaksgam Valley to China, and thereafter they felt that this is an advantage situation for them. So thereafter in 1965, Pakistan waged a failed war against India. We all are aware what was the condition of Pakistan in 1965 war, which was the major tank battle. Then in 1971 war also we saw the breakup of Pakistan, where 93,000 soldiers were taken as prisoners of wars. So after failure in 1965 and 1971 war, Pakistan realized that they cannot defeat India in a conventional war, that is in a front to front full scale war. So thereby since 1989 and 1990s, they started engaging in proxy war against India, that is by using the third parties, by training terrorists and by letting them to infiltrate into India and attack the Indian armed forces. So this is the proxy war. And then in 1998, both India and Pakistan they become nuclear member. So after Pakistan tested its nuclear weapons, so thereby US started putting restrictions on both India and Pakistan. So in 1999 we again saw the failed misadventure by Pakistan, that is the 1999 Kargil war, when Pakistan again faced a humiliating defeat. So after the US restrictions on Pakistan, China started going relations with Pakistan. So their actual relations started after 1998. So but China they started building the military of Pakistan. For example, they provided military support, they had built their military complex, and also assisted them in acquiring the military and nuclear technologies and basically the missile. And in return, Pakistan provided China the access to Gwadar port, because we all are aware that majority of the trade route of China passes through the Gwadar port. So thereby China like started using the Gwadar port of Pakistan, and in the recent times also we all are aware that the CPEC, which is the flagship program of Belt and Road Initiative, which is running through the Pakistan, so thereby the friendship between both the countries started growing. However, there is one thing, that is in previous war against India, China never came in support of Pakistan. But considering the fact in the recent times, China has huge amount of economic stakes in Pakistan, so China will definitely support Pakistan in case of war against India. So now the most recent reason of provocation for both the nation is the abrogation of Article 370. Like we all are aware that last year the Article 370 was abrogated, where the state of Jammu and Kashmir was bifurcated into two union territories. So thereby there is the major provocation reason for both the countries. So after which we have seen the recent action of China in the last 4 months. Like China, they have ingressed into the Indian territory, they have tried to change unilaterally the status quo, and even they have built up their military infrastructure. They have set up their high military hardware along the LAC, that is the line of actual control. So similarly, that is basically a clear signal from China, that is at the one time they are keeping Indian armed forces in busy in fighting with their incursions, and on the other side Pakistan may sense an opportunity to capture the major heights of, that is the major areas of India. Now the most important factor is the significance of Siachen Glacier. We all are aware that Indian Army has dominating heights in Siachen Glaciers, and it is the most important region in the Kashmir area because it creates a wedge between China and Pakistan. And in order to have better connectivity, China and Pakistan, they want to control the Siachen Glacier, because it is only through Siachen Glacier that their link will be more feasible. For example, their flagship program of CPEC, it will be better connected if they get control of Siachen Glacier. But now Siachen Glacier, the major heights, it is under Indian control. So in case there is going to be a war posed by Pakistan, they will definitely try to capture the areas of Siachen Glacier, maintain basically the Soltaro ridge line, which is currently occupied by India, that is held by India. So thereby at the one side they are trying to engage Indian army on capturing Siachen Glacier, and on the other side the China is trying to engage Indian army with the recent incursions, like they are trying to stop Indian army the access to their reserves, and similarly, so that is the condition. Although the China is not going to attack India in case unless India attack China, but it is directly going to provide support to Pakistan by limiting India's infrastructure, basically by breaking India's infrastructure and by wasting India's resources, similarly in a small to small fight with China. So that is the condition of two-front war. Now let us see the present condition of Indian armed forces. So talking about Indian Army's capability, so in terms of Pakistan, we are far more capable. Our army is almost double than of Pakistan army. Our air force is 1.6 times bigger than of Pakistan, and our navy is 3 times more capable than Pakistan. But in comparison to China, we are far behind. Basically in terms of navy, because in the recent time China has started to cut their military and now they are focusing more on their navy, and our Indian navy, although it is very much capable, but in comparison to China we are far behind. So therefore, in order to give a credible fight, our equipments need to be increased by at least 50% of total today. That is, we need to increase the total number of equipments held by almost double, then which will require huge allotment of funds. So China, they have already, the state of art military setup in their country. Like unlike India, they are not dependent upon defense imports. Like we all are aware that India is one of the largest importer of defense equipments in the world. But in case of China, they built their own military equipment. Similarly, in Pakistan, it is basically their military that call the shoots. That is basically military is responsible for clearing all the orders of the procurement, unlike India where it is under the political control for clearing the procurement of the armed forces. So thereby we need to be prepared, and even our defense budget is very less as compared to China, and last year's China's defense budget was around $177 billion, and as compared to our this year defense budget, which is just $65 billion. So now let us see what India should do to fight two-front war. So the first and the most important thing to fight a two-front war is the preparedness, that is modernizing the armed forces. Like we all are aware that we lost a 1962 war against China because of our lack of preparedness. Like our armed forces were not fully modernized, they were not prepared to fight a war with China. So that is why the most important thing is modernizing the armed forces, because today around 70% of our equipment are vintage equipment. So thereby it is only through the capacity building that can deter China and Pakistan, and for that we need to keep our defense budget to at least 2.5 to 3% in the next 20 years, because Today China and Pakistan, they spends around 3 to 3.5% of their GDP on defense budget. But in case of India, this is for the first time since 1962 war that we have spent 2% of GDP on the defense budget, that is in the 2020. And out of the total defense budget, the most important thing is 67% of the amount is spent on the salaries and the pensions of the employees. So the amount which is left on modernizing the armed forces, that is for acquiring the new technologies and hardware, is very less. So thereby the efforts must be given to increase our defense budget mainly on the acquisitions. And next is India needs to keep traditional friends like Russia in good relations, because we all are aware that in the recent times, basically in the last 1 decade, our relations with US is basically increasing day by day, but Russia is moving away from us. That is in the recent times, because of the economic compulsions of Russia, it has now moved more closer to China and even Pakistan. So thereby the most important thing at present is we need to have balanced ties. That is, along with maintaining relations with the US, we need to have strong ties with Russia also, because we all are aware that Russia is our traditional tie and it has always supported us in every war. So thereby it is very important to have very good relations with Russia along with US, and thereby we need to have good relations with the anti-China elements, for example the countries that China considers enemies, for example Japan, Vietnam and Philippines. And basically the relations with Philippines and Vietnam should be increased, because the major issue of China is in the South China Sea, and these nations are very much wary of China in the South China Sea. So thereby forming strong relations with this anti-China campaign will definitely contain China, and we need to engage these countries in more military exercise, basically in the Indian Ocean and the Indo-Pacific region. And with more military exercise with these countries, and by engaging more in Quad group, this will definitely put a more amount of pressure on China. And the next is we need to declare first use nuclear policy in case of two front war. Like from last many years, India has openly stated no first use nuclear policy. That is, we are not going to use nuclear weapons unless we are attacked by another country using the nuclear war. So similarly, for two front war, we need to change this policy to first use nuclear policy. So that will basically create a huge amount of pressure on China and Pakistan to pose any kind of war. Another is we need to be more self-reliant in military technologies. Like India is the largest importer of one of the largest importer of defense equipment. So by being self-reliant in the defense technologies, we can build our own equipment without looking at other countries. So in the recent days, we have already initiated towards this step. Like recently we have initiated towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, and where the defense ministry has placed 100 defense items under negative list. That is, 101 defense items are banned from importing. So this is the first step. And second is we need to invest heavily in the border infrastructure. Like we all are aware that Chinese border along the Tibet and from the Arunachal side is basically a very highly developed region, but on the Indian side it is very underdeveloped because of the very rough terrain. And from last many years we have adopted a defensive approach. But in the recent times we are improving. We are building infrastructure along the Chinese border, and even now we are changing our policy from defensive to offensive approach. The army need much more mountain war capabilities. For example, we need at least 2 mountain divisions along the Chinese border. And on the other side, we all are aware that China, because of its advanced technology, is a cyber superpower, and India will have to defend from such attacks. And in the recent times, the Indian Army has taken a very major step for banning the social media sites for the defense personnel for the security of the nation. And another thing is we need to review our defense structure by forming the integrated theater command and by forming the integrated by bringing the concept of the integrated theater command and integrated battle group. The structure of Indian Army will be completely transformed, and this will improve synergy between the 3 services. So finally, there is need to have a capability and deterrence development. That is, Indian Army needs to build capacity building. We need to focus much more on modernizing our equipment. That is, we need to have advanced equipment, and for that we need to have more defense budget. So this is basically the best step to give a clear threat to China and Pakistan. And considering the fact that our Indian armed forces are battle worthy, like they fight every day with the insurgents in Jammu and Kashmir and on the northeastern border, and as compared to the Chinese army which last fought war in 1977 with Vietnam. So we are already very much powerful to give a bloody nose to Chinese and Pakistan. So, but the only thing is we need to focus on the steps which I have discussed. So this is all about two front war. So friends, I hope you have liked this video, you have gained much information from this video, and if you feel this video is good, then you can support me by sharing this video. And in the next video I will be coming up a detailed video of modernization of the armed forces, like what we need to modernize in our armed forces to increase our capacity building. So this is all about today's video. Thank you and God bless you all.